and it has the right to exist, and people can discuss about that and have a dialogue. So I hope integrity will be a value for our society in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the comment. I would also like maybe then to go into your toolboxes. You might all work differently. I don't know, but we will soon know. Shall we go in the reverse order? So tell about, let me check my notes that I don't forget. Tell about an important or successful campaign or approach you have run to achieve your goals.
Okay, let me see now. So Faktavari has been involved in many projects, for example, linked to elections and all that, but something interesting that we are just starting, perhaps to use it as such, is that we try to, within the spirit of information integrity, to kind of conceptualize or get content for the kind of assistive AI literacy or something like that. It's called like a tukiäly. So, or more like a pedagogical thing. It's not we who have invented the name, and it's doesn't translate so well in English as it does, I think, in Finland, where it makes the tweak, like, you know, who is using it and all that. But this is something we hope that we can still, so to say, positively think of, kind of save some souls by what's the right attitude to this black box that people are using at the moment, and especially among the young ones. But this is something that we got now a little grant from the Cordelin Foundation, and we try to kind of bring people together, especially on the educational field. I'm not the let's say the brains of the project, but we try to kind of hook into the teachers especially, and some of the academic projects who are trying to have experience on that one, and how to define and how to make the teachers like push for the right attitude towards this new technology.
Yeah, Olea is still quite a young organization, but we have done a few things. So, for example, last year's spring, May 2024, we organized an event on ESG investing and whether ESG can like be a key for the future. And then this spring or last spring in 2025, we organized an event on privacy and digital power. So our main channel for making an impact has been organizing events and sort of seminars for young people who are interested in these kind of topics. And then this fall or this December, before the end of the year, anyways, we are publishing a pamphlet on agricultural subsidies and sort of EU policy on agriculture, and we are organizing an event next week's Thursday on this. So it's been a lot of event organizing for us.
Okay, yeah, we can switch the order here as well. I'm maybe not mentioning an individual campaign. Also, this kind of things KR21 is linked with. It's like this legislative change, and it's quite a slow thing to happen. But maybe I'd like to mention sort of this, like maybe inspiring or encouraging librarians to have this more like an advocacy spirit, and maybe to like contact politicians or sort of do things like that. So it's one thing I personally maybe want to achieve, and maybe it's, at least traditionally, it's not maybe something that
the average librarian might be very good at, or at least feel like they are, but sort of that you can maybe talk about the issues that are important to you. And also maybe because this is like a European project, so there are these coordinators in several countries, and I'm working like as a part of this network, and it's like a part-time project. So in that way, there can be several people, and also bringing these examples that something is done in some other European country, and it could give ideas to others. So sort of sharing this information maybe in a way that wouldn't happen only through like social media or the internet, that it might be useful to have this local person who knows the networks and can connect people. Yeah, I guess maybe that was most of what I thought I'd mention.
And I think I'll mention what we usually mention. That's our communitarian approach to the kind of like doing the open science, which is kind of like very unique in the for Finnish open science circles. We don't do it kind of like top-down style. We don't say to the universities and researchers that this is how you're done. Instead, we kind of like include them to the decision-making process in a bottom-up sense, and our expert panels and working groups are open for everyone, and to do and kind of like share in the making of our recommendations and policies. And that's why we have just updated our declaration of open science. It has already been the updated version signed by 2/3 of the research performing organizations of Finland. The last version was basically signed by all research performing organizations, so that's universities and research facilities. And it's to be expected that all the universities will be in a short order probably signing it, and that's because we are doing it together. We are not kind of like some ministerial organization who just gives regulations, but we are kind of like within the community and doing things together, and that's why our kind of like approach has been successful.
Wonderful perspectives, all of these. I think you all might already understand that this is all leading towards the idea of advancing the advocacy network that we all hope to grow together. And like what Open Knowledge Finland is trying to do is to reach out to all of you and all your contexts and networks in a way that we can find common ground that we can work on. So I have a question for for the audience, which can be like a conversation starter or a statement. My question is, I can say that first in Finnish. I have it here. Mitä käytännön toimia verkosto voisi tehdä yhdessä jo tänään? And what practical activities could this network carry out already today? And we are actually trying to get there. So who would be courageous enough to go first? Yeah. Maybe you have to come here so that we can grab you on the...
Okay. I'm Vladimir Kuparinen, and in my small team, we are developing, our startup, we are developing solution for people who are not satisfied what public libraries can deliver to them. The collections of books, especially when paper books are digitized, is diminishing. So in digital era, we don't have more access to knowledge as before, because publishers stop selling electronic books to libraries, and publishers are more gatekeepers as distributors of knowledge. So I'm so thankful that I belong here, and I will speak to Pirjo later. I'm following Knowledge Rights 21 very much. The day after tomorrow, I will tell to all the students shortly that they are made like tools for promoting Amazon books that are very much expensive and very much not factual because of AI influence and so on. So I wish just to remind you that a lot of people are using more and more digital information that is not like true to life or too expensive and even unfriendly, as you told, from Russia and so on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone in the audience? I have Tuve here. You can please come. It's a little bit intimidating to come in front, but I'm happy that you did.
So hi, I'm from Glam and just joined the board for Open Knowledge Finland. Proud to be there. And I would say like one thing we could do easily right away is like support each other's initiatives and lift up events that you are doing and in our own networks so that everyone gets more visibility and more support.
This is wonderful. I will write it down as soon as I have my hands free. And anyone want to comment this or suggest something based on this? There's Maria.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to add something about artificial intelligence because it is a challenge for all data-oriented people and the whole society because so much depends on the quality of the data and availability of it. It can be biased or misleading or wrong facts whatsoever. And so we need cooperation when there is the meaning and the importance of artificial intelligence. And there we need a balance of reliable data and also reliable tools. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any comments? Yes, go ahead. You have the mic.
One thing that hasn't been mentioned yet is that openness requires resources. It requires money. It requires labor workforce. So, for example, if you want to make data accessible to everyone, you have to build some kind of API or some sort of database to make it accessible, and that requires money. You have to maintain it and so on. You have to communicate about the database or whatever it may be. So I think dispersing knowledge about how data can be made open would be quite valuable. But of course, that itself requires resources as well.
This is wonderful and really a good seed for discussion.
Yeah, I have to think about the funding issues for the couple of years we've been doing a kind of like an open science funding roadmap for the last 2 years, and there's kind of like there's opening up data and science. It has its costs, but in the long run, we hope that it will also manage to kind of like put down the costs, because when there's enough data opened up, then there's less need for kind of like everyone to do their own data, because there's the shared kind of like the knowledge information system where you can kind of like find the data that you need. And I also had some points about the AE question or comment. I think it's we have more kind of like a need for more open and more kind of like better AI tools. So there's more like where we know what has been kind of like the data on which the AI tool has been kind of like educated on. So in the best case, it has not been kind of like in some big company where all the kind of like the information on how the large language model has been done. It's not any secret anymore, but it's kind of like in the public scrutiny, up to public scrutiny about what can be seen and why it's giving up the results that it gives. So there's kind of like need for more openness in the AI in the AI section, and if it's done in the right and proper way, then it can be a better tool, I think. And then I think there's also kind of need for more reliable data sources for use for AI, because if it's only kind of like false information from unreliable sources, then of course the AI will produce just nothing that's kind of like just false information. So we also have kind of like responsibility for kind of like taking care that there's kind of like the right sort of data that the AI can use, then AI produces.
What kind of word would you use about that? Reliable? Trusting?
Reliable, trustworthy, in the best case, kind of like science-based, of course. Yeah, yeah. We don't want that. Yeah, quality in, quality out.
Anyone with an urge to say something?
Thank you for that good discussion. Maybe I want to highlight the reality when we are developing AI models in general. I think that in this ideology is good that we would have reliable data sources and so forth, but the reality in the industry is that, first of all, there's not that much access to data. Another question is copyright question. Again, most of even the academically acknowledged, let's say, models or databases, in academics, you can use those data. But again, when we're talking mainly that AI models are being developed by commercial entities, then comes the question that, okay, can they or can they not? So I do like this discussion. I believe that it's very important. But the reality is that the amount of data needed is not accessible, even with money, it's not accessible. So then comes the question that, okay, how can we make it so that it is fair and so that it is by the laws and actually developed, because we could not be the stage that we are now if a lot of big entities wouldn't have made those technological developments that they have done now. But of course, from now onward, we can discuss, and I hope that globally we can come to a consensus of particularly this question, because if we don't have the shared rules, that we don't play with the same game. I believe that in Europe we play a little bit different game, and I'm not saying that the European regulation is not good, but I'm just saying that at the same time, when other regions in the world don't want to play with the same rules, then comes the problem that, okay, we will never catch up. And I believe that we are almost in that stage that we cannot catch up because we have somehow strangled ourselves. Yes, Mehalet from OKFI. Mehalet.
Thank you. I mean, I always feel like I would like to say something to this, but I won't. But because all of these are, as you know, all these rabbit holes, there are lots of discussions and universes of discussions behind each of these questions. But also, so that we can continue discussion in a more relaxed way, we can also close the panel and move on to all our free-form chats around here. I don't know if you would like to say like closing words. I don't know. I don't think you have planned for closing words, but is there something that you would like to highlight in a very, very short, like 1 minute pitch, that you would like everyone to remember when they go home? That's like a slogan or something very punchy.
I think I'll have to improvise something right now. Okay, well, this is very straightforward. Let's make knowledge open.
I'm really bad at slogans, so maybe I still comment to the previous question, sort of not linked with AI, but sort of what the network could do. So I believe that maybe it could start with some like one practical thing. I don't know, it could be a training in commenting some legislation or something, and then it would be useful to just do one thing and then see where it leads to. So maybe that could be my slogan, just do one thing and so on.
Maybe I'll answer the question with another question. So I'm just wondering about who do we want to be open? Like, should everyone be open about their data, or do we want some like the public sector, the government, like private and private companies to be open with their data? Like, for example, one sort of trade-off or example of a trade-off that I like to bring up is that, like, if everyone's medical records were suddenly made public, that would be a disaster for privacy, but it might be good for research, like medical research, for example. So that's something to think about, I think.
Wow. Okay. I think already. Thanks for bringing us together, and I think already sharing knowledge about the different events and just like share existence of different NGOs, because that is so important in these times. That's already valuable and something to build on that one, and we have to see what we could do as well to promote some of the stuff. I mean, we have now a communication officer who tries to keep us so streamlined, because we all know that it's getting so complex that people don't understand anything and all that, and have to be so focused. And the slogan part. So what we try to for the mainstream messaging and what people can do, we try to categorize them under the slogan "Stop, Think, and Check." And we have been like our let's say origins are in fact checking and all that, but I think we need much more on the stop and think part there as well, and bring some sort of an approach, especially for the youngsters. And I think something, because I think still we have to kind of double check that and that's why it's so important that we really link with the youngsters to know how do they see these type of things, because it's living already in the completely different information reality. But I think there is a value of let's say kind of fact checking the approach with the youngsters, so to say, that do these type of things still matter? Because if you are built into a completely different information system, then the angle might be different. But stop, think, check is something that we are working on.
Wonderful, thank you. Well, let's clap Mikko. Let's clap to all of the panelists. And then let's continue in a free form these discussions and whatever discussions